Hey there, folks. How you doing? Welcome to RWL Championship Wrestling. Hangman Tex Lynch here, and I am joined this evening by Chicago Danny Awesome, former RWL manager and general manager of the Southwest region, Gene Barry. Now, these guys were really nice to me when they played host at RWL Southwest for me the other night. So I thought, well, with Don Hickson resting his throat tonight, I'd need some more support staff, so I invited Don and Gene to join me. And we'll all be back with our first match right after the break. All right, well, our opening contest tonight, ladies division competition, with Georgia Washington, the Yankee Rose, set to face Allison Kinsey of the Click. You know, Tex, I will say from the start, if this isn't the most pretentious, the most cringe, the most annoying entrance in all of professional wrestling history, I'm an Eskimo. Well, seems, well, gosh, Don, the kids like it.
Are you ready for the new sensation? Well, here's a shot heard around the world. Are you back? Boys salute when the flag goes first.
Our opening contest, one fall, with a 10-minute time limit. Approaching the ring from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, she's the Yankee Rose, Miss Georgia Washington.
Well, friends, you can love her or hate her, but the Yankee Rose, Miss Georgia Washington, has made an impact since her debut some 7 months ago. And what about you guys? What do you guys think of the Yankee Rose, Miss Georgia Washington? Tex, she's a dope, she's a half-wit, and she ain't even a real American. She's French-Canadian, for crying out loud.
That's true. If you listen to her speak, she definitely doesn't have a standard North American English accent.
French-Canadian, huh? Well, somebody better go tell Kurt Angle.
Her opponent from Celia Noble, Pennsylvania, representing the Click, Allison Kinsey.
Well, all right, it's been a mighty long time since we've seen Allison Kinsey of the Click. Her, Ashley Renee, and Amanda Power, oh, well, they are a trio, and they have been a successful trio for about 10 years. Allison Kinsey out here on her own this evening, trying a single match out against Georgia Washington. It ought to be good. Allison Kinsey is their most talented member.
And if there's anyone who can present a challenge to Georgia Washington, it would be Allison.
All right, well, a great opening match and a first-time encounter between these two ladies who have never met before. You have my assurance. Referee Willie Johnson rings the bell. They come center ring. Well, Allison, quick with the counter, locks up Georgia Washington. Clinches with her up against the ropes. Ref's going to step in and break that up, see if we get a clean break here. Yes, we do. Allison quickly countered by Georgia. Georgia Washington countered by Allison Kinsey with a slap of the hand away. Georgia whipped to the ropes, and a spinning kick from Allison Kinsey takes her down. Kick to the midsection. Georgia Washington counters. Georgia Washington's got her up. Allison Kinsey goes behind, goes around the back door, says surprise, and hangs her up and puts her down. Allison Kinsey catching a jawjacker from Georgia Washington, who fails to connect with the clothesline, catches a kick, catches a chop. Now she's in the far corner with Allison Kinsey trying to kick in her ribs. Oh, man. Georgia Washington swings wildly and misses. Allison whips her so hard into the ropes into a corner that she rebounded out. Allison Kinsey firmly in control right here. Basement dropkick to the back of the head of Georgia Washington. Followed up with a stomp to the midsection. And a slam of the face right into the canvas. Well, now, Allison Kinsey. Been a long time away, but hasn't forgotten how. Georgia Washington nails her with a suplex. Georgia with a head scissors and a knock across the noggin for Allison Kinsey. Oh, man, Georgia Washington trying to unscrew the head of Allison Kinsey like a bottle cap. Man.
And it's a sure sign of arrogance when you're kicking dirt on your opponent.
Cover, but just a one. Allison Kinsey powering out of the pin. A chop across the chest. Down goes Allison. Georgia Washington rounds her up. A kick, a knee right to the head. And down goes Georgia Washington. Allison Kinsey countered with a jawjacker by Georgia. And there's a one-arm slam to Allison Kinsey. Allison counters, kicks away the knee. They lock up, kick to the midsection for Georgia. Allison Kinsey goes behind. German release suplex from Allison Kinsey. Allison dragging Georgia Washington just about center, going for the cover here. 1, 2. And that took great ring presence to get Georgia away from the ropes.
Well, yeah, that's because Allison Kinsey's a veteran. She knows her way around the ring. She's no dope.
Allison moves in. Oh, look at this. Georgia Washington playing possum, delivers an inverse Hurricane Rana and doing a little styling and profiling here. Rounds up Allison Kinsey, takes her down with a clothesline, follows it up with a second one. Allison swings and misses, a rebound off the ropes, and down goes Allison Kinsey. Kick right back up again. Whoa! As if to say, yeah, and a clothesline takes down Georgia Washington. Allison Kinsey doing some fancy work of her own, a couple of clotheslines, and a kick right to the face of Georgia Washington. Georgia rounded up again. Allison whips her into the corner. Georgia Washington counters, delivers a chop across the chest. Allison counters with a chop. Whips Georgia into the corner, back turn. Georgia counters, delivers a chop and a spear that takes down Allison Kinsey. That is not good. Georgia Washington debating her next move. Allison Kinsey is laid out. Allison counters with a jawjacker, backs off Georgia Washington, fails to connect with a drop kick. Georgia fails to connect with the kick, nails her with a kick to the midsection, and a neckbreaker drop. Down goes Allison. Allison Kinsey being dragged center ring by Georgia Washington. Now see where we go here. Oh, look at this. Into the figure 4 leg lock. This could be real bad for Allison Kinsey right here. And, oh man, look at this. Look at the arch on the back. Georgia Washington's got it locked in real good. Allison Kinsey in some big trouble. The referee asking what she wants to do here. And that figure 4 is locked in. Georgia releases the hold. Damage may already be done. 1, 2. But no, Allison Kinsey getting the left shoulder up just in time. Georgia Washington has to start all over again. Georgia rounds her up. Arm drag from Allison. Allison misses with the chop. Georgia Washington with a wraparound DDT, face first into the canvas. Goes Allison Kinsey. And here we go, Georgia Washington trying to rally some fan support here. Good luck with that one. Whoa! Hurricane Rana from Allison Kinsey. Allison countered by Georgia Washington. Georgia whips Allison over the top rope, out onto the floor. Follows her on out. Allison Kinsey catches an arm drag, and a drop toe hold from Allison to Georgia Washington. Makes her way back inside the ring, followed by Georgia. Allison Kinsey. Whoa! Yanked by the hair and pitched halfway across town by Georgia Washington. He does not appreciate Allison Kinsey apparently making her look foolish with another Hurricane Rana. Wow. Allison Kinsey. Long time no see, but has definitely not forgotten the assignment. Allison moves in on Georgia cautiously, tentatively. Georgia makes her way back inside. Nails her with a right that takes her down, follows it up with a stomp. Tags her with another right. A slap across the face that spins her around. Allison Kinsey whipped to the ropes. Georgia Washington. A little do the hustle here into a neck breaker. Wow. And then a one-arm slam from Georgia. Here's a cover. 1, 2. And again. Shut up. Allison Kinsey giving Georgia Washington a decidedly tough time. She needs to regroup here. Needs to take a minute to think. Maybe have a Twix. Georgia countered by Allison Kinsey and swept down to the mat again. Georgia Washington makes her way up the apron. Allison Kinsey tries to tag her with the right, but Georgia counters, makes her way back inside. Tags her with a hard right forearm. Down she goes. Drives an elbow into the leg of Allison Kinsey. Georgia Washington shoved away by Allison Kinsey. Allison back on her feet. And stalking Georgia Washington. This could be bad right here for the Yankee Rose. From behind, German suplex with a pin. 1, 2. Oh, man, that was close. Okay. Allison Kinsey really sticking it to Georgia Washington here. Here's a spear. And I don't know, I think Georgia Washington might think she's got it. Here she goes for the cover. 1, 2, and again, Allison Kinsey absolutely refusing to give up here. Allison rounded up to her feet by Georgia Washington. Georgia's got her up. Allison alley-oops from behind. Tags her with a right to the back of the head. And a one-arm suplex from Allison Kinsey. Wow. Allison catches a gouge of the eyes from Georgia. Georgia escorts her towards the ropes. Pitches her over the top rope and out onto the floor. I think Georgia Washington's just about had enough of Allison Kinsey. Rolls her back inside the ring. Takes herself back inside. And now Georgia Washington stalking Allison Kinsey here. Kick to the midsection. Oh, here it comes. She's setting up the Rockets' red glare. And here it is. Boom. That's it. The RRG. That's it. She is done. Allison Kinsey is laid out. Here's a cover. 1, 2, 3. Yep, that is about it. Georgia Washington defeats Allison Kinsey by pinfall.
The time of the fall, 7 minutes and 33 seconds. Your winner, Miss Georgia Washington.
You know what, guys? I'll tell you. She's putting on a great front right now, but I guarantee you, Georgia Washington is mad as hell right now because Allison Kinsey went ahead and made her look stupid.
Most certainly did. It took almost the whole length of the 10-minute time limit just for Georgia to put Allison Kinsey down for a 3 count.
Well, as it turns out, she did do that. And despite having won the match, she did wind up looking kind of silly at the hands of Allison Kinsey, who always seemed to have an answer for whatever it was Georgia was pulling out. All right, fans, that's going to take care of our first match this evening. We will be back with a whole lot more RWL Championship Wrestling right after these important words, so don't you go anywhere.